Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Friday, September 19th, 2025. So, did you find this crossword to be as difficult as all get out?
Yeah, boy, did I.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was quite difficult.
I was worried because I've been having trouble with Wednesdays and Thursdays, and this one we may have predicted it was going to be tough.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. Looking at it after the fact, it's just like, okay, that wasn't that hard. That wasn't that hard. But in the middle of the battle, it certainly seemed tough.
Oh, I thought it was very difficult. And I was doing it with our daughter.
Right.
Thankfully, she was able to help me out enough that we were able to get it done.
Ah.
She knew some things that I certainly didn't know. And yeah, it was a toughie.
Well, I was doing it with me, and fortunately I knew some things that I didn't know, so it worked out well.
Well, good.
What did you in particular not know?
I'd never heard 44 across. I personally wouldn't boast about that. Weird flex, but okay.
Yes.
I had never heard that. And because it was sort of a statement of disagreement, I personally wouldn't boast about that. She said, "Oh, I think it's probably weird flex, but no." Weird flex, but no, I wouldn't do that. And so we had that no in there, which then did not allow us to solve any of the clues in that whole area of the middle right puzzle.
Sure, because everything would have sort of broken down at that point.
Yes, and we tried every gimmick we could think of to get that to work, but
yeah, it wasn't going to work with no. It needed an okay. Well, I looked there, and 29 down was lower than on a score, and I thought it's going to be like least or less or something, or under. And then I realized, it's that kind of score, Soto.
Yes, I kind of thought that it was going to be related to music, but I couldn't think of the term Soto.
Somehow I may have had a letter or two before I got to it, but I got to it. So that and plus I was not encumbered with the knowledge of but no. So it's like I had no idea what was happening there with that. It just looked sort of weird, but I may have heard the phrase.
I've never heard it.
Yeah.
And then 32 down, or 33 down, which ended in the K of okay, was a learning center.
Yes.
And so I was trying to think of, like a lobe in your brain, or,
that's good.
Something biological, but turned out to be desk. So
yes,
a learning center.
My first thought was I looked at the middle letters of learning, which are R and N.
Oh, yes, we thought about that.
So I was going to have it A-R-E-N, which seemed very weird. And then I decided I had the E and the S, and I thought, it's a test. Because a test,
yes.
sort of like, but a test really isn't learning. It's verifying that you've learned.
Right.
So, and then we had 43 across. The A in STEAM was arts. Did you get that right away?
I didn't. I kind of thought it was arts, but I wasn't quite sure. But yeah.
Yeah, the arts, they weren't satisfied with STEM.
No,
it's like you're going to weasel our way in.
Get arts in there, too.
It's like you're the ones who get all the money.
Let us in. Make it STEAM. But yes.
And the E came from 37 across. Let it all out in a way. Emote.
That
was pretty good.
Yeah. That 38 down, that was another one I got some help from our daughter. Pulitzer Prize-winning graphic novel by Art Spiegelman. And it was Mouse, M-A-U-S, and she knew that.
I may actually have that book, but I couldn't, I didn't know what to do with it because I didn't have weird flex, but okay. And so I had the M and the A, and I thought, maybe it's Mars. Sounded good, but mouse, which I presume is German for mouse.
I believe so.
Yeah.
But we got it eventually, but that's where we ended up. But the rest of it, it was pretty difficult getting any letters filled in for a very long time. So.
Well, I loved 6 across. Engage in magniloquence.
Yes.
I'd been practicing for half an hour to get that right on the first try.
Very good.
And I went for brag. Because I wasn't, it sounded like brag.
Oh,
And so I don't want to brag or be accused of magniloquence. Oh no, I got it wrong. Magniloquence. But I got it right on the first try.
Well, very good. I did not know what that word meant, but it was interesting. 17 across, ancient creepy crawlies. And I thought right away, trilobites.
Really?
It has to be trilobites. And so
Wow.
I put that in and it was right. And our daughter was just like aghast. She was just like, I can't believe you knew that, Mom.
Well, you should have just said, you know what? If you weren't here, I'd still get the crossword solved. No, you probably don't want to say that. I hope she's not listening. Let's see. We had 11 down. I thought that was cute. Reader's Digest. Book report.
Right. Yeah. That was a great clue.
Yeah. And of course, the digest was not capitalized.
Right.
But at first I thought book liners. I don't know why.
I put book review first.
That's
but
good.
Book report makes a lot more sense.
Yes. And I just sort of lucked out with 24 across. Moulin Rouge co-star in 1952, Gabor.
Gabor, yeah. I don't know which Gabor that was. Zsa Zsa Gabor, Ava Gabor.
Very long time ago.
They had a sister named Magna Gabor, yeah.
Really?
The Gabor sisters.
Okay. Well, that was quite a while ago.
Yep.
24 down, Big Old Teddy Bear. I had to struggle with that one. It was Gentle Giant.
Yes.
That took me a while. It's like, what do I do with Big Old Teddy Bear? Nothing. There's nothing came to mind. And I had the usual problem that I have with 51 across, birthplace. I look at birth and I think it's a place on a ship where you sleep.
Oh.
So I thought boat and I thought ship. But it's actually where the boat or ship might park, because there's that other definition of it, and that's the berth, as in pier, P-I-E-R.
Yeah. Yeah, we struggled with that too, because we were thinking, there's berths in a train, there's berths, we think about a place where there'd be a berth.
Right. But I guess I don't think of a pier as, I guess a berth is just where you tie up your ship?
I guess, yeah.
We had 56 across, ordered clubs, for example, Royal Flush.
Yes.
That I found difficult.
Oh, yes.
But I did know 41 down, British spots, adverts. At first I went for Lou, because I don't know, somehow that seemed right. But of course I needed 8 letters, or 7 letters, not 3.
Right.
And then I thought pips.
Yes, Yeah, I was thinking of that, like spots on a die.
And then briefly, for no apparent reason, my brain suggested cheerio, which the E and the R of adverts matched. So it was getting closer. At least I had the right number of letters.
That's true.
So, and then advert somehow came to mind. But I'll tell you, the one where I ended up was with something I'm sure you knew. 35 down, Zach of the Iron Claw, Ephraim,
yeah. Zac Efron.
I started with Elron. And then I decided it was Enron.
Oh, no.
And then I decided that was a drilling company, oil drilling company.
Right.
And then eventually an energy company. Thank you. And then I eventually got to Efron. I was stymied because of 40 across, ribbed silk material.
Yes.
FAILLE?
Yeah.
F-A-I-L-L-E.
Right.
Okay.
That I did know. That's how I got the F. So I thought, well, it's got to be Zac Efron. I don't know any other Zacs.
Right. Yeah, well, actually, and I was also entertaining Elton at some point. I just knew about the O and the N. Those I felt pretty good about. And even the O and the N, I was a little bit wobbly on that N because it was tennis star Stevens who won the 2017 U.S. Open. I remember that vividly. No, I don't at all. It was Sloane, S-L-O-A-N-E.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that person. No.
You think it's Sloane? Yeah, I guess Sloane would be the first name.
Yes, I think so.
And then right underneath that, they had 55 across. Car whose name means listen in Latin. Audi.
Audi, yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
when you look at it.
I thought of that right away.
And I decided that there ought to be, that perhaps Chevy Bolt was from another Latin term that means it's so quiet you can't hear the engine. Is it running? Is it on? That's the Chevy Bolt. This has not been a paid advertisement by General Motors, in case anyone's wondering. Let's see. We had 63 across. According to experiments, they can't sleep in space. Yo-yos.
Yeah.
I was like, I had no idea about that one. That was a great clue.
Yes.
And even 57 down on the newsstand say, I'm like, it was 3 letters. It's just like, I don't know. Air? Hit? But it was out.
Out, yes.
Let's see. I think that covers. Another one that I sort of played around with for quite a while. Pull-up target for short. I thought it was going to be bar. Because if you're doing a pull-up, there's that bar and you're trying to get up to the bar, so that would be your target. But it turned out to be lat.
Yeah, the muscle
wasn't
building
even
by doing pull-ups, yeah.
So this was a fine crossword. It was by Erica Shung Wojcik, and it was definitely tough.
Oh yeah.
But a great Friday crossword. I definitely think it deserves 5 squares on the Jam CR
I
scale.
give it that, yeah.
All right, we are unanimous in this. Now it is Friday.
Yes, it is.
Which means it's time for Fun Fact Friday.
Do, 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 do.
I take it with that cheery tone that you do have a fun fact for Fun Fact Friday.
I do.
Okay, good.
I do.
Great.
On Sunday's Magnificent Puzzle, which was a tribute to the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote.
Yes, I remember that vividly.
Yeah. One of the clues talked about the creator of those characters, and that was the famous Chuck Jones. Although, I mean, you don't really hear a lot about Chuck Jones when you hear about Looney Tunes, but obviously he was the brains behind all of it. And so I just have a few fun facts about Chuck Jones because the man has such a legacy. I could go on and on, but anyway, for one fun fact was he started working in animation in 1931. And he worked until 1997.
Wow.
So over 60 years, he served as an animator for a variety of studios. He started at UB Iwerks Studio in 1931. He worked for Walt Disney. He worked for Screen Gems. And then, eventually he created his own Chuck Jones Productions. And, of course, worked for Warner Brothers concurrently with that. Okay. Another fun fact is that, let me get down here to the other fun fact. He actually won 4 Academy Awards. 2 of the cartoons that he directed for sentimental reasons and So Much for So Little won Academy Awards for the Best Animated Short Film. But at that time, it was customary to give the statuette to the producer, not the director. And he was the director, so he didn't get ones for that. But he did not receive an Academy Award until 1966, where he won for The Dot and The Line. In 1996, he was given an honorary Academy Award for his work in animation. And it was presented by Robin Williams, who was a self-confessed Jonesaholic. He gave it to him, calling him the Orson Welles of cartoons. And the audience gave him a standing ovation as he walked onto the stage. Here's what he said. Well, what can I say in the face of such humiliating evidence? I stand guilty before the world of directing over 300 cartoons in the last 50 or 60 years. Hopefully this means you've forgiven me. So anyway, he sounds like he was, quite an interesting man and a very prolific one when it came to cartoons.
Absolutely.
One last fun fact. There was a, let's see, where is it? I have to keep going back and forth in my notes. But there was a 1994 book that came out, The 50 Greatest Cartoons, that a group of animation professionals ranked. And they ranked What's Opera, Doc, 1957, as the greatest cartoon of all times. And, of course, that was directed by Jones.
Yes.
Of the 50, Jones had 10 in that list.
That's about right. Yeah.
Including Duck-a-Buck, Duck Dodgers in the 24 and a half century.
Oh, yes.
One Froggy Evening, Rabbit of Seville. I remember that one. I remember the opera one too. And then Rabbit Seasoning. So anyway.
Now I'm going to go watch them.
Yeah, just an amazing man.
Yes.
An amazing career.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you very much for that fun fact.
You are welcome.
And one last thing before we go, we have a spot of listener mail.
Oh, good.
And this is from Randall.
Oh,
and it's addressed as, question for you. Hi, guys. So here's a question for you both. Have either of you ever encountered an NYT crossword that you absolutely could not finish using your own wheelhouse of knowledge in the crosses and had to resort to a bit of Google guidance? I can do most days of the week relying solely on my own abilities, but once in a while there's just no way I can finish it without a bit of controlled and limited research, usually on a Saturday. I then chalk it up to an educational experience and not my own stupidity. I never literally look up a specific answer, but instead review the general subject and then go from there. That works for me, and I don't feel like I'm cheating, unquote. Thanks as always for what you do every single day, Randall.
Yep.
Well, that's interesting.
Yes. And I can answer that.
Oh.
Yes, I do. When I first started doing puzzles, I wouldn't do the Fridays and Saturdays because they were so hard.
Right.
And then when I started doing them, I was just lost. And so, yeah, I would do that quite frequently. Now, I hardly ever do that.
Right.
But yeah, definitely. And I do check, if it doesn't solve, I'm like this week with that one artist's name that ran the.
Don't remind me, the one with the dosas and the Mia.
I looked at it and I'm like, that does not look right because it had so many vowels together. And I looked it up and I'm like, oh yeah, it is right. So, but yeah, I do that.
I call that a preemptive. I call that a preemptive lookup.
But I'm with you, Randall. I consider it a learning experience. I just doing the crosswords, I learned so much, and that definitely it's an education for me.
Right. I can usually get the grid filled out, not satisfactorily. The last time I actually got to a point where I had no idea through the crosses or in any direction, it's been a couple of years, I think.
Really?
Where, but I mean, like the Saturday that just killed my streak, I had everything filled out. It looked okay to me. And sometimes my argument is, if I can convince myself that all the answers are right, then it doesn't count as, I don't consider that blowing my streak.
Oh, okay.
But in some cases where there are just so many natives, just so many holes, and it's usually Spanish food, exotic Asian food, and actually any Spanish word whatsoever, then I just let my streak die.
Yeah.
And rage at the crossword gods. But no, I think there's always going to be a limit. I mean, there's like a bell curve of solving abilities, and wherever you cut that line, there's going to be some people on the wrong side of it. So the most important thing, I think, is that you enjoy doing the crossword and that you learn, as you say, you learn from the experience.
That's right.
Yep. All right. Well, that is it for today. Remember, if you want to do what Randall just did and drop us a line, please do so.
Good to hear from you, Randall.
Yes, indeed. Yep. Always glad to get an email from you. And for anyone else, again, it's crosswordpodcast@icloud.com, or you can click on the send fan mail link. We will be back again then with our cutting edge analysis of the hardest crossword of the week. That would be Saturdays. We will be back with that tomorrow.
Bye-bye.